Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Genevieve Curtis. We know many people were trying to return to work today only to be greeted by the damage left in Uptown. Right now, businesses across our area are cleaning up from 3 nights of protests. People smashed windows and threw fireworks. There's damage at the 7-Eleven in Uptown and ink and ivy in restaurants like the Carolina Ale House. We're going to get to that cleanup there in a second, but first, let's not forget the reason for these protests. There is another protest today, this time at South Park Mall. Our Elsa Gillis is live there for us now. Elsa.
Yeah, Genevieve, there's really not a lot of activity here right now. I have seen a couple people here that appear to be here for a protest walking around with some signs in hand. What we are seeing is what I'll step aside and show you, a police presence and a lot of gates. The entrances to the malls are blocked. And one police officer told me the mall is closed, and that is causing a little bit of confusion of people driving up here to go to the mall today. We drove through the South Park Mall when we first got here as they were closing most of the entrances, and it was pretty quiet. You know, we had heard this gathering would be happening in one of the mall parking lots, but it doesn't appear anyone is able to get in right now. And from what we can see, we're not really seeing anyone gathering, but we will stay here on the ground and keep an eye out and keep you posted about anything that develops.
All right, Elsa, we'll check back with you in a little bit. Thank you, Elsa. Now, while people were protesting for a 4th day, many businesses in Uptown Charlotte are starting to clean up. That includes Wells Fargo, which is on Trade and Tryon. There's also graffiti on windows and broken glass. There's damage to the Element condos on West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. There's also glass and windows next door at 7-Eleven. I know we want to be able to show you some of those images as well, but the restaurants have been hit too, including the Carolina Ale House, as well as McCormick and Schmick's nearby. Our Deshawn Brown has covered all of these protests all weekend long. She is joining us live now. Deshawn, really, can you walk us through what the cleanup process looks like this morning?
Sure, Genevieve. I mean, if you just walk through Uptown right now, this is something you'll see a lot of. A lot of businesses here either boarded up for protection or from damage that's already been done. I do want to give you a look at what we saw over at Wells Fargo this morning, because that's there. You had several crews there cleaning up chunks of glass you could see directly into that building, and that's just from some of the damage that they suffered in that one particular spot. But truly, you did not have to go far to see the impact all over Uptown Charlotte. And this was over the last few days. We found several restaurants, bars, even a salon, a convenience store, as you mentioned, some of these places. Just for perspective, to illustrate that there really was not one specific place or any rhyme or reason as to what was hit that would give you the impression that there was some sort of a target in all of this. And I have been working to speak with local business owners, some of them who've been impacted by all this, to get a sense of how they are doing today. And really, this is coming at a very challenging time if you think about the fact that they have already faced financial challenges from COVID-19, and now to add some of the unrest that we've seen and the damage that they're working to clean up right now. Genevieve, back to you.
All right, Deshawn, certainly a lot of cleanup happening there this morning for a lot of those businesses. In addition to the protests right now at South Park Mall, 2 local groups are also planning events. A Justice Walk is planned for 6 o'clock tonight, starting at the tennis courts at Freedom Park. Then on Tuesday, the NAACP will have a nonviolent protest against brutality at the Government Center in Uptown. That is scheduled to start at 4:45 p.m. Channel 9 will have live team coverage of today's Justice Walk, which again starts at 6 p.m. Now we're going to get back to our coverage in just a few minutes, but we do want to get to the weather right now because it is such a gorgeous day outside with temperatures in the low 70s. Definitely nice to get a break from all of that rain we've had the last few weeks. Meteorologist Keith Monday is tracking when those heat results will return. Keith?
Yeah, thankfully, Genevieve, we got a while before the big heat for typical June weather starts to roll back in, but it's fantastic. It was nice to get back out on the back porch here today to provide the weather forecast. You can see that blue sky and sunshine just hanging out. We're 72 in Charlotte now. It's in the low 60s up into the mountains. Feels amazing out here, and the nice northeast breeze still hanging on in here, although it's a little more breezy this morning. The winds are already starting to relax, and eventually that wind direction will shift back to the south and southwest as we head through the rest of the week, and that's going to bring back, a little more of the heat. But for today, to get a break from inside activities, get outside and enjoy. We'll hover only in the upper 70s, very similar to what we saw and enjoyed for yesterday. Coming up in the next few minutes, though, I'll be back to talk about a lot more heat coming through the rest of the week and eventually those storm chances coming back as well.
All right, Keith, thank you. And it's not just Charlotte picking up the damage this morning. Los Angeles, Boston, New York, all seeing plenty of damage as well after days of unrest. New York saw a mostly peaceful protest, even as police announced nearly 800 arrests over the weekend. Then in LA, police fired tear gas to scatter some looters there. And in Washington, D.C., protesters set a large fire just blocks away from the White House. The death of George Floyd sparked all of these protests. Just 1 week ago today, a Minneapolis police officer was seen on video kneeling on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Floyd later died. We heard him saying he could not breathe. Tomorrow, his brother plans to go to that area.
I got people, people in my corner just being there for me. So going there tomorrow, I just want to feel my brother's spirit. I just want to, I don't know, for lack of better terms, just connect with him again.
Now, Terrence Floyd says his brother would have appreciated the peaceful protests across this country, but not the ones that have turned violent.
I do feel like it's overshadowing what's going on because, like I said, he was about peace, he was about unity. But the things that's transpiring now, they may call it unity, but it's destructive unity. It's not what he was about. That's not what my brother was about.
Really powerful words from Terrence Floyd. Now here in Charlotte, we saw police taking people into custody all over uptown, including this man. It is important to note that that doesn't mean that charges are always going to be filed in these cases. This is another person taken into custody near the Omni Hotel on Trade Street. We know at least 15 people were arrested last night. We've reached out to CMPD to learn the charges that these people could be facing. Now, CMPD also arrested 30 people during Saturday night's protests. So we asked who is protesting peacefully and who are some of the agitators. CMPD said it can't say for sure, but Channel 9 analyzed one group of people arrested on Saturday night. The more destructive crimes of the night, the property damage crimes, the breaking and entering crimes, 5 of them were white and 1 was listed as unidentified. Many were from out of town. These 2 men were arrested for carrying concealed weapons. Zachary Guynard is from Kentucky. Gary Williams is from Concord, and Ryan Spoor is from Greensboro. He was arrested for obstruction. 7 out of the 30 people were arrested came from outside of our region, including from New York and Pennsylvania. Well, police across the U.S. arrested more than 4,100 people since the killing of George Floyd. Protests have been held in more than a dozen states, and 40 cities have imposed some form of a curfew in order to try and keep the peace.